The rain fell hard on the dusty road as Emma drove through the night. Her baby, Noah, slept in the car seat behind her. The sound of the wipers was the only noise in the silence. Her eyes were tired, her hands tight on the steering wheel. She hadn't slept in 2 days. Yesterday, her divorce became final. Years of stress, arguments, and tears had come to an end. She had signed the papers, packed one suitcase, taken her baby, and left everything else behind. No plans, no home, just the road. She didn't know where she was going. Somewhere far. Somewhere quiet. As the rain grew stronger, her gaslight blinked. She sighed and looked for signs of a nearby motel. After 20 more minutes, she found one. Clear. Sky Motel, the sign said, but the sky was anything but clear. The building looked old and worn out. Paint peeled off the walls, and only one of the neon letters worked. But Emma didn't care. She just needed a roof and some rest. She walked into the small office holding Noah in one arm and a wet purse in the other. An old man at the desk looked up, surprised to see anyone this late. "I need a room," she said softly. The man gave her a room key and took her name without asking questions. Room 6. Just down the narrow path to the left. Emma unlocked the door. The room smelled of dust and old smoke. The lights flickered. There was one bed, a small table, and a sink. She didn't complain. She placed Noah gently on the bed and wrapped him in a dry blanket. She stood at the window and looked outside. There was one other car parked, a black one, with strange shapes painted on the sides. The room next to hers, room 5, had a dim blue light shining under the door. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. Emma turned away and tried to sleep, but she couldn't. Her thoughts were heavy. What would she do now? How would she care for Noah alone? She had no job, no money left except for what was in her purse. Her ex-husband had taken everything else. All she had now was her child and her will. To protect him. Around midnight, strange sounds came from the room next door. A soft hum, like a machine turning on. Then a series of light beeps. Not like a phone or a TV, something else. Something unfamiliar. Emma froze. She pressed her ear to the wall. The sound stopped. Suddenly, the light under the next door changed. From blue to green. It lit up the hallway outside her room. Then silence. She stepped back, heart beating fast. "Noah, we're not alone here," she whispered, holding her baby close. The next morning, Emma stepped outside. The rain had stopped. The motel parking lot was quiet. She saw the black car again, no license plate. And then she saw him. The man from room 5 stood near the edge of the motel lot. He was tall, maybe over 6 feet, with short black hair and calm eyes. He wore a gray coat and carried a strange tool in his hand, long and silver, with glowing edges. He didn't notice her at first, but when he turned, their eyes met. He nodded once, like he knew who she was. Emma quickly looked away and went back inside. All day, Noah was quiet. He didn't cry or fuss, but he stared toward the wall that separated their room from the man's room. Sometimes he giggled for no reason. Sometimes he reached toward the wall, his fingers curling. That evening, Emma tried to feed Noah, but he refused. His skin felt warm, a fever. Her heart filled with panic. She grabbed her phone, but it had no signal. She ran to the front desk, but the office was locked and empty. "No, not now," she whispered, holding Noah close. She remembered the man. She ran to room 5 and knocked. No answer. She knocked again, harder. Still no reply. She turned away. But then, the door opened slowly. He stood there, calm and quiet, with the same tool in his hand. "My baby. He's burning up," Emma said in fear. "Please, I don't know what to do." The man looked at her, then at the baby. He stepped aside. Emma walked into the room and gasped. It didn't look like a motel room. The walls glowed softly, covered in smooth panels. Floating screens showed symbols she didn't understand. Tools hung from the ceiling, glowing and humming. "Quietly, place the child here," the man said, pointing to a flat surface. Emma hesitated, but obeyed. The man ran his tool over Noah's body. A soft light scanned the baby, then the man pressed a button. A small burst of warm air covered Noah. Within seconds, the baby stopped crying. His fever was gone. Emma stood frozen. What are you?" The man looked at her with serious eyes. "You should not be here." She stepped back. "What do you mean? This place is not safe, especially after sunset." Emma hugged her baby tightly. "Are you from this world?" He didn't answer. Instead, he walked to the window and looked at the sky. "They will come again tonight," he said. "And you've already seen too much." Emma whispered, "Who will come?" He turned to her. "Things that do not forget. But you must stay inside. Lock your door. Protect your child." The man stepped out into the hall and nodded toward her room. She left quickly, still holding Noah, confused and scared, back in room 6. She locked the door and sat on the bed. Noah was sleeping peacefully now. Emma stared at the wall. She had escaped a bad marriage. She had run to a quiet place, but maybe she had run into something even stranger, and next door, the man was watching. Emma could not sleep that night. The man's words stayed in her head. "They will come again tonight." She watched her baby Noah, sleeping peacefully beside her. His fever was gone. His small chest rose and fell softly. But the fear inside, her heart grew stronger with every passing hour. Outside, the motel was silent. The rain had stopped, but the air felt heavy, too quiet. No cars passed by. No wind moved the trees. She sat by the window and peeked through the old curtain. The hallway light flickered. Room 5 was still glowing with that soft blue-green light under the door. Then, around midnight, something strange happened. The light in her room went out. Just the bulb. The TV, the small fridge, even her phone screen went black. Everything stopped working. Emma's breath caught in her throat. She stood up and tried to turn the light switch again, but nothing happened. She opened the curtain wider and looked outside. That's when she saw them. 3 tall figures stood at the edge of the motel parking lot. Their bodies were long and thin, almost floating. They had no faces, just dark, smooth heads and glowing circles where eyes should be. Their skin shimmered like glass under moonlight. They moved slowly, silently. Emma dropped the curtain and backed away from the window, holding Noah tightly. She didn't dare breathe. The figures glided across the parking lot toward room 5. Suddenly, the door to room 5 opened. The man stepped out, holding a long glowing rod. He was calm. His eyes were brighter than before, silver, like starlight. He didn't speak, but the rod in his hand pulsed with blue light. The 3 figures stopped in front of him. The air around them seemed to bend, like heat rising from the road. The man raised the rod. Then, a deep sound filled the air, like a low hum mixed with wind and thunder. Emma covered her ears. Noah began to stir but didn't cry. The figures backed away slowly. Their glowing eyes blinked once, then twice, and then they vanished into thin air, as if swallowed by the night. The man turned, walked back into room 5, and closed the door. The light under his door turned red. Emma didn't sleep at all. The next morning, the motel felt normal again. The power returned. Her phone lit up, but there was still no signal. The sky was blue, and birds chirped in the trees. Emma stepped outside, holding Noah in her arms. The sun felt warm, but her body was tensed. The man from room 5 stood near his car, cleaning a strange silver device. He looked up and saw her. This time, Emma didn't look away. She walked toward him. "You saved us," she said softly. "Thank you." The man gave a small nod. "It was not for you, it was for the child." Emma blinked. What do you mean? He looked down at Noah, who was now smiling at him. He carries something rare, something others are watching. Emma held Noah tighter. What does he carry? The man didn't answer right away. Instead, he asked, have you noticed anything strange about him? Before now? Emma thought for a moment. He cries around people, always, but not around you. He stopped crying the moment you came near. The man nodded slowly. He can sense things. Light, energy, thoughts. It's not normal for humans. Not yet. Emma's eyes widened. You're not human, are you? No, he replied, calm and direct. But I was once, long ago. Emma stepped back. Why are you here? I was sent to observe, he said, to watch your kind. To learn how humans are changing. Changing? Emma asked, confused. The man's eyes looked toward the sky. Humans are not like other species. You are unpredictable. You grow in strange ways. Your child is proof of that. He is the beginning of something. Emma's voice was barely a whisper. Beginning of what? I do not know yet. Replied, but others are afraid of it. She looked down at Noah, who giggled and reached out toward the man. The man stepped back quickly. He should not touch me, not yet. It may speed up what is growing inside him. Emma's heart pounded. Is he in danger? Yes, the man said, and so are you. You both need to leave this place. I have nowhere else to go, she said, voice shaking. The man paused, thinking. Then he said, there is a way, but it is not on this world. Emma stared at him. What do you mean? There are ships, he said. Hidden near your planet, waiting, some friendly, some not. Emma shook her head. This is too much. I just wanted to start over. I wanted to protect him. You still can, the man said. But you must understand, he is not just your son now. He is something more. And they will come again. Emma turned and looked at the sky. It seemed quiet and normal, but her heart told her otherwise. She looked back at the man. What's your name? He paused. Names don't matter where I come from. Well, I have to call you something, she said, trying to calm herself. Man thought for a moment. You may call me Solin. Solin, she repeated, nodding. I'm Emma. This is Noah. Solin looked at the child. You have done well, Emma. Most would have given up, but you ran. And now you've found him a path. Emma looked at her son. If he's part of something bigger, then I'll do anything to keep him safe. Solin nodded. Then stay close. The real journey is just beginning. That night, the motel lights stayed on, but Emma didn't sleep. She sat by the window again, watching room 5. But this time she wasn't afraid. This time she was ready. The days at the motel passed in a strange quiet. Emma stayed close to Noah, always watching him, always wondering. The man Solin had told her to stay inside, but he hadn't explained much else. Not about who or what he was really protecting her from. That night, after Noah had fallen asleep, Emma sat by the window. The dim lights of the motel parking lot casting shadows across the room. She watched Solin's door. It was always closed now, the soft light under it never flickering, never changing. Her thoughts were interrupted by a faint hum. Emma stood up quickly, straining her ears to listen. The sound was coming from outside, low and steady, like something was moving in the air. She moved toward the door, feeling a chill run down her spine. The sound grew louder, almost like a soft wind, but there was no wind. Then she heard it. The unmistakable sound of footsteps. No, not footsteps. Something was walking or floating. Her heart began to race. She couldn't let herself panic. Not with Noah in the room. Slowly, she peeked through the curtain again. In the dark, 3 figures stood outside, their tall forms just barely visible in the dim light. They moved slowly, gliding over the gravel, as if they weren't walking at all. Their bodies were dark, almost like shadows with no real shape. No faces, just dark, smooth heads and glowing spots where their eyes should have been. Emma took a step back. Her throat tightened. They were back. She didn't know what to do. Should she hide? Should she run? But she didn't want to leave the room. She couldn't. Not now. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock at the door. Her heart jumped in her chest. "Emma," a voice called softly. It was Solon. "Open the door." She rushed to the door. Her breath caught in her throat. She opened it just a crack, barely enough to see his face. His eyes glowed with a strange silver light, but his expression was calm. "They're here," he said, his voice low. "They've found you. What are they? What do they want?" Emma asked, her voice shaking. "They want him," Solon replied, glancing toward Noah, who was still asleep on the bed. "Your son. He is special, and they will do anything to get him." Emma's stomach twisted. "What do you mean, special?" Solon hesitated. "Your son carries something that is both a gift and a curse. It's why I'm here, to protect him." Emma stared at him, not sure what to believe. "But why me? Why now? I'm just a normal woman." "You're not," Solon said, his voice firm. "Your son's energy signature is unlike anything I've seen. It's unlike anything anyone has ever seen." Emma could feel her world shifting, twisting. Her mind was racing with questions. But before she could ask another, Solon stepped back, his gaze fixed on the figures outside. "I need you to listen," he said urgently. "They will not leave until they get what they want. And you are not safe here. You must come with me." Now she didn't hesitate. There was no time for doubt. She grabbed Noah, who was still asleep, and followed Solon outside. The cold air hit her like a wave as they stepped into the parking lot. The figures were closer now, still floating just beyond the edge of the lot. Emma could see them clearer, now tall and thin, their bodies reflecting the dim light. The strange glowing eyes were locked on Noah. Solon turned to face Emma. "I'll keep them away for now. But you need to move quickly." He took something from his coat, another silver device, similar to the one he had used before. He pressed a button, and the device hummed to life, glowing bright blue. "I don't understand," Emma whispered, clutching Noah. "Who are they? Why do they want him?" "They are not human," Solon said, his voice tight. "They've been coming for years, searching for something in your species, something that will give them power." Emma's head spun. "Are they aliens?" "Yes," Solon said, his eyes scanning the surroundings. "But they're not the only ones. There are others, more dangerous. But they're the ones who found you first." He paused, looking down at Noah. "And they'll stop at nothing to take him." Emma's heart pounded in her chest. She didn't know what to do. How could she protect her son from these things? She didn't even know what they were or why they wanted him. "They'll be back," Solon said, his voice urgent. "We have to leave." She looked around, feeling trapped. There was nowhere to go, no one to trust. But Solon was right. There was no time to waste. She followed him as he led her through the back of the motel lot. The figures were still watching them from a distance, unmoving, waiting. They didn't make a sound. Solon walked quickly, his eyes scanning the horizon. He stopped at a small, old van that had been parked behind a shed. "This is the safest place we have for now," he said, opening the door. "Get in." Emma didn't question him. She climbed into the van with Noah in her arms. The door slammed shut behind them. Solon took the driver's seat and started the engine. The van's engine roared to life, and they drove off, the lights of the motel fading in the rearview mirror. The figures did not follow, for now. Emma sat in silence, holding Noah tightly. The night felt different now. It was no longer just about running from her past. It was about keeping her son safe from things she couldn't understand. The van rumbled down the road, but Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something was still watching them. Something far worse than what she had already seen. The old van moved through the dark countryside. The moon followed them, quiet and cold, casting long shadows on the road. Inside the van, Emma sat holding Noah close, her arms wrapped tightly around him. He was still asleep, his small hand resting. On her chest, Solon didn't speak much. His eyes stayed on the road, but his face showed concern. Emma finally broke the silence. "Where are we going?" "To a safe place," Solon said. "It's hidden. They won't find us there. At least, not right away." Emma looked at him. "You keep saying Noah is special. What does that mean? What's inside him?" Solon took a deep breath. "It's not something I fully understand. Not yet, but it's real. And powerful." He glanced at Noah. "Your child has a rare signal inside his mind. It's like a code, but living. We call it the human spark." Emma frowned. "What is the human spark?" "It's a mystery," Solon said. "Even to the oldest beings in the galaxy. Some say it's the next step in evolution. Others say it's the reason humans are feared." "Feared?" she asked. "Yes," he said quietly. "Humans don't know how unique they are. Most species change slowly. They follow patterns. But humans, your people jump. You leap forward in strange ways. You adapt, you survive, and sometimes you break the rules of nature." Emma stared at him. "You're saying my baby is proof of that?" "He's more than proof," Solon said. "He's the beginning of something new. His mind can already connect to energies I thought impossible for someone so young." Emma looked down at her son, who now stirred in her arms, his eyes slowly opening. He looked up at her, calm and silent. Then something strange happened. Lights in the van flickered. The dashboard lit up with symbols Emma didn't recognize. Solon quickly checked the controls. "Noah," Emma whispered. "What's going on?" The baby raised his tiny hand toward the front of the van, and a soft blue light glowed from his palm. It wasn't hot. It wasn't bright. Just steady. Solon pulled the van to the side of the road. He turned to Emma. "He's doing it again," Solon said. "He's reacting to my tech. My ship, my tools. They're built to respond to energy signals." "But your baby." "He's not just responding. He's controlling them." Emma's voice shook. "He's just a baby. He doesn't even speak." Solon looked serious. "That doesn't matter. His mind is already open. Most species need years of training. But your child is doing it naturally." Emma held Noah closer. "What does that mean for us? For him?" "It means others will come," Solon said. "Not just the ones we saw. Bigger ones, more powerful. They want to use him, control him, or end him before he grows stronger." Emma shook her head. "I won't let anyone touch him." Solon nodded. "That's why I'm here. I was supposed to only observe, watch your kind and report. But now, everything has changed." He paused. "Emma, you have to understand something. The human spark was only a theory. No one believed it was real. Some called it a myth. Others thought it was lost long ago." Emma asked, "But now you believe it?" He looked at Noah, who was watching him with curious eyes. "Yes," he said, "because I can see it in him." The van moved again, slower this time. They were close to a group of small hills, hidden by thick trees. Solon parked beside a broken fence. There was no house in sight, just land and darkness. "We're here," Solon said. Emma looked around. "Here. There's nothing." "Exactly," he said. "They won't look here." He opened the back of the van and pulled out a round metal disc. He placed it on the ground. It blinked twice, then expanded. Within seconds, a hidden hatch opened beneath the grass. Emma stepped back in surprise. Solon held out his hand. "Come, it's safe." She hesitated, but then followed him down the steps, holding Noah close. Inside, it was cool and silent. The walls glowed with soft white light. It wasn't a room. It was a chamber, curved walls, floating screens, and small machines moving along the edges like insects. Solon activated a panel, and a bed appeared from the floor. "You can rest here. I'll keep watch." Emma laid Noah down. He yawned and looked around, eyes wide but unafraid. Emma sat beside him. "He's not scared. He feels safe," Solon said. "He can sense peace." Emma looked at him. "Is this your ship?" "No," he said. "It's just a pod. A shelter. My ship is still hidden, far from here." Emma leaned back, her eyes heavy. "I still can't believe any of this." Solon sat across from her. "I know it's hard. But the truth is, your child may change everything. Not just for humans, but for the galaxy." Emma smiled softly, brushing Noah's hair. "He's just a baby." "But I believe you. Because when I look at him, I feel it too," Solon nodded. "Good. Then we begin tomorrow. I will teach you how to protect him." "Me?" Emma said, double quotes, "Yes, you are still his mother." "That means more than you know." That night Emma didn't sleep much. She watched Noah as he slept under the soft lights. His tiny chest rose and fell, calm and steady. And as she sat there, a quiet feeling grew inside her. Hope. The next morning, Emma stood in the training chamber beneath the hills. The walls were smooth silver. Strange symbols floated in the air, showing maps and blinking lights. Solon stood in front of her, calm as always, holding a small silver cube. "This is for defense," he said, pressing the cube gently. A blue circle of light appeared between them. Emma stared at it, unsure. "What do I do?" Solon looked at her with steady eyes. "Place your hand on it. Think about protecting Noah." She did. Her hand touched the light. The circle flashed. For a second, the air around her changed. A pulse moved through the room. The silver walls hummed, and the light cube glowed brighter. Solon gave a small nod. "You did it." Emma pulled her hand back. "I didn't feel anything." "You don't need to," Solon said. "Your will is enough. You've passed the first layer." Emma looked at him. "First layer?" He nodded. "There are 3. The first is protection. The second is connection. The third is unknown." Emma sat down, tired. "Why are you teaching me all this?" "Because you must protect your child," Solon said. "I won't always be there." She looked at Noah, sleeping in the pod behind her. His small hands moved as if he were dreaming. Emma shook her head. "I don't want to be a fighter. I just want to be a mother." "You can be both," Solon said gently. "The galaxy is not safe, but a mother's heart is strong. Stronger than most warriors." Emma closed her eyes. "I never thought my life would turn out like this." "You were chosen," Solon said. "By who?" she asked. Solon was silent. Then he said, "Maybe not by anyone. Maybe you were simply the one who didn't give up." Later that day, the warning came. The screens in the chamber blinked red. Solon stood quickly, watching a black shape move across one of the displays. "They've found us." Emma stood up fast. "How?" "They tracked the pulse Noah sent out last night," he said. "It was small, but powerful. They have machines that can detect signals like that." Emma rushed to the pod and picked up Noah. He woke up but didn't cry. He looked around, alert. Solon grabbed a long glowing tool and pressed a button on his wrist. The ground shook. A second door opened on the far wall, revealing stairs leading deeper underground. "Come," he said. "There's a second exit." Emma followed him, her heart racing. "What about your ship?" "It's hidden beyond the hills," Solon replied. "But if they're fast, we may not reach it in time." As they moved through the tunnel, the lights behind them went out one by one. The enemy was close. They reached a wide room with a glass ceiling. The sky above was turning dark, though the sun hadn't set. "They're blocking the light," Solon said, "to confuse our systems." Emma looked up. A huge shadow moved over the glass. Then a loud thud shook the ground. "They're here," she whispered. "Sol." Ian held out his arm. "Stand behind me." Emma backed into a corner, holding Noah close. The ceiling above cracked, and a part of it broke open. A tall machine dropped down. It had no face, just sharp arms and blinking red eyes. It moved quickly, scanning the room. Solon raised his tool and fired a blast of blue energy. The machine staggered but didn't fall. It fired back, sending a red beam across the room. Solon dodged. "Emma, listen to me. If I fall, run through the north tunnel. Don't stop." "No," she said. "We won't leave you." "You must," he said firmly. The machine came closer. Noah suddenly reached out his hand. A soft glow formed in the air. Emma looked down in shock. "Noah!" The glow became stronger. A wave of soft blue light spread across the room. The machine stopped. Its red eyes blinked. Then slowly it turned and shut down completely. It collapsed on the ground. Sol. Ian stared. That was him. Emma was speechless. He didn't even touch it. Solon walked forward and scanned the broken machine. He changed its pattern, rewrote its signal, without wires, without tools. Emma looked at her child in awe. "He just wanted to protect us." Solon nodded. "This is why they fear him." Suddenly, a voice echoed from the open ceiling. Cold, robotic, clear. "Surrender the child." Solon's face hardened. "We don't surrender." Another shape dropped from the sky, this one larger, stronger. Emma stepped forward. "Noah is not a weapon. He's my son," the voice returned. "He is a threat. His signal must be silenced." Emma raised her voice. "You're afraid of him because he's different. But he's still human. Human patterns are unstable." The voice replied. Solon aimed his tool. "That's what makes them powerful." Without warning, the second machine charged. This time, Emma didn't run. She placed Noah gently on the floor behind her, stood up straight, and stepped forward. Her hands trembled, but in her heart, she felt something grow calm, steady, strong. She closed her eyes and thought only one thing: protect Noah. A shield of soft light formed in front of her. The machine hit it and bounced back. Solon stared in disbelief. She activated the second layer. Emma opened her eyes. "What just happened?" "You're not just his mother anymore," Solon said. "You're becoming something more." The machine rose again. Solon fired. The blast hit its core. The machine exploded in light and vanished. The voice above went silent. Later, in the quiet, Solon repaired the chamber's ceiling. Emma sat beside Noah, holding him tightly. "You asked why I'm helping," Solon said. "Now you know. Your child and you are part of something greater." Emma looked at him. "What happens now?" Solon smiled faintly. "Now you decide. You can stay on Earth, hide, run forever, or come with me." "Where?" she asked. "To the stars," he said. "To places where you'll learn what he truly is and what you're becoming." Emma looked down at Noah. Then up at the sky. "I'll go," she said. The ship lifted off quietly from the forest, leaving Earth behind. Emma sat by the small window, Noah sleeping in her arms. The stars outside looked calm, but her heart raced. Solon stood at the front, guiding the ship through the dark sky. He spoke softly to the ship's controls, which answered with blinking lights and smooth tones. Emma glanced at him. "Are we safe now?" Solon didn't turn, for now. "But they will follow. They always do." Emma hugged Noah closer. "Then why did we leave?" "To go where they can't reach so easily," Solon said. "To the outer fields. There are old places there, hidden places. One of them holds the truth about your son." Emma looked down at Noah's peaceful face. "And about me?" Solon gave a small nod. "Yes, you're changing, Emma. The energy you released back on Earth. That wasn't just luck." Emma looked out the window again. "I never asked for this." "No," Solon said, "but you chose to stay. That matters more." The ship glided through the void for hours, passing strange stars and distant blue lights. Finally, it reached a system with 3 suns. In the middle was a large green planet with silver rings. "That's Virion," Solon said. "The ancient. Keepers once lived there." "Keepers?" Emma asked. "They were builders, watchers, protectors. Long gone now. But their machines remain. If your child's signal came from somewhere, it might have been connected to this place." As they entered Virion's orbit, the ship slowed. Emma saw great mountains and glowing lakes below. The land looked untouched. They landed in a quiet valley filled with tall crystal trees. Birds with silver wings flew over them. "This doesn't feel like a battlefield," Emma whispered. "It's not," Solon replied. "It's where things begin." A narrow path led from the ship to a wide stone platform. At the center stood a pillar with glowing carvings. As Emma approached, the pillar lit up with a soft hum. Solon stepped back. "Only you can touch it." Emma hesitated, then placed her palm on the surface. The carvings moved under her hand. Lights circled her fingers, and a warm pulse traveled up her arm. Suddenly, images filled her mind: planets, stars, ancient beings made of light. She gasped. "What did you see?" Solon asked. "Everything," she said. "But I didn't understand it all." "That's normal," he said. "The pillar shows truths, but the heart must be ready to accept them." Emma looked at him. "What truth?" Solon pointed at Noah, now sitting on the stone steps. "He is not the first. There were others humans born with energy inside them. But your child, he is different. His energy isn't just power. It listens. It learns. It bonds." Emma felt her throat tighten. "Is he in danger because of it?" Solon nodded. "Yes, because there are those who fear what they cannot control." Emma sat beside Noah. "Can I protect him from them?" "Only if you become more than what you were," Solon said. That night, Emma had a dream. She stood on a bridge made of stars. Below her, great shadows moved in silence. Ahead, a doorway opened. Inside was a mirror. She walked toward it. The mirror showed her, not as she looked now, but as something else. Her hair shimmered like starlight. Her eyes held galaxies. Her arms glowed with blue threads of light. She looked strong, calm, ready. Emma reached out to touch the reflection. The mirror cracked. She woke up. The sky outside was still dark. Noah was asleep beside her. But something had changed. She felt lighter. A quiet hum filled the air. She stood and stepped outside the ship. Solon was already awake, sitting near the pillar. "You felt it," he said. She nodded. "What's happening to me?" "You're aligning," he said. "Your mind, body, and heart are tuning into what was always inside." Emma sat beside him. "Does it ever stop feeling strange?" "No," Solon said, "but it becomes familiar, like breathing." In the morning, Solon guided them to a deep cave beneath the valley. The walls shimmered with soft lights. In the center of the cave was a floating sphere. It pulsed like a heart. "This is the memory core," Solon said. "It holds the stories of the keepers." Emma walked closer. The sphere responded to her presence, spinning faster. It began to speak not in words, but in pictures. She saw a time long ago when humans lived on Earth peacefully. But then, a war came from the stars. Not all humans knew, but some were marked, chosen to carry something ancient, a spark, a light. That spark passed through generations, hidden, waiting. Until now. Emma realized what it meant. Noah. "He has the spark," Solon nodded. "Yes, and now you do too." Emma looked at her hands. They glowed faintly. "Is that why I could block the machine?" "Yes," Solon said. "You're connected to him. His light awakened yours." Suddenly, the sphere flashed red. Solon turned. "They found us again." Emma's heart sank. "Already? They won't stop, he said. But this time we don't run. This time we stand. Emma looked at him. Just the two of us? No, Solon said. You have allies now. He pressed a small device. A beam shot into the sky. Moments later, shapes began to appear, ships from other worlds, quiet and shining. From them came beings of many kinds, tall, short, glowing, feathered, all stepping onto Varian soil. They heard the call, Solon said. They've seen what Noah did. They believe in it. Emma looked around. We're not alone, Solon smiled. We never were. That night, Emma stood beneath the stars, Noah in her arms. All around her were lights from ships and fires of camp travelers. The world was quiet but full of strength. She looked down at her son. You've started something, she whispered. And I'll be by your side until the end. Noah smiled in his sleep. Emma knew the fight wasn't over. But now she had hope. She wasn't just a mother anymore. She was becoming something more. The winds of Varian moved gently through the crystal trees, carrying whispers of a new beginning. Emma stood near the cliff's edge with Noah in her arms, watching the suns rise together. The light touched her face and reflected in her calm eyes. Behind her, Solon approached. His tone was steady, but his eyes carried urgency. They've entered orbit, he said. Emma didn't move. How many? Too many for one ship to fight. But not too many for all of us together. Emma turned to face him. Around them, the valley was alive with motion. Beings from different planets stood side by side. Ships had formed a circle around the valley, each one a promise that she and Noah were no longer alone. Solon placed a hand on his belt. We don't need to destroy them. We only need to show them something stronger than fear. Emma nodded. Hope? No, Solon replied. Unity. Fear divides. But light brings together. The enemy ships began to descend. Dark and sharp, they cast long shadows over the land. From one of them, a signal echoed. Surrender the child, and we will. Leave your world untouched. Emma felt her chest tighten. She held Noah close and stepped forward. I will answer, she said. Solon didn't stop her. She walked to the edge of the main platform where the memory core floated. The ancient stone beneath her feet pulsed with energy. All eyes turned toward her. She pressed her hand against the pillar, and the carvings lit up again. Her voice echoed across the valley and through the skies. We are not afraid. We are many, and we do not follow your fear. This child carries a light that belongs to all of us. If you want him, you must come through all of us. The last word rang like a bell. Suddenly, something stirred in the air. Noah opened his eyes. Valley turned bright. From Noah's body, a soft light began to rise. It wasn't fire. It wasn't energy as weapons knew it. It was pure warmth, a peaceful force. The crystal trees glowed. The memory core floated higher. Ships from the allied fleet shimmered, touched by the boy's glow. Solon stood back, shielding his eyes. He's activating it. What is it? Emma asked. The Spark Network, he said. The last gift of the Keepers. A link between minds, a bridge between hearts. But it needs someone pure, someone small, someone new to awaken it. The light kept growing. One by one, the beings in the valley felt it. Not just warmth but connection. They saw flashes of each other's memories. Loss, love, dreams, all at once. Emma felt her own pain melt. The hurt of the divorce, the motel room, the loneliness. It wasn't erased, but it was shared now. Lighter. Tears rolled down her cheek. He's healing them. Up in the sky, the enemy ships paused. Inside their machines. Their soldiers began to feel something they had never known. Emotion. Understanding. The network was reaching them too, and some of them began to lower their weapons. One large cruiser tilted sideways and sent a message. We see now. Others remained still cold and unsure. Emma turned to Solon. What happens now? They decide. Will they hold on to fear or let go? Suddenly, 3 enemy ships broke away and began to fire. The valley shook. A blue shield flashed across the skies. The allied ships returned fire not to kill, but to push back. A small battle began. But it wasn't war. It was a test. Emma handed Noah to a nearby healer and stepped onto a stone platform. Lights rose around her. She looked at Solon. You said I have the spark too. Yes, he said. Then I can reach them. Solon's voice became serious. If you open yourself to the network fully, it may change you forever. Emma smiled. I already changed, the day I chose to keep moving. She stepped into the center of the platform. The pillar lit up again. Emma closed her eyes. She opened her heart. And then she was everywhere. She stood in the minds of soldiers aboard enemy ships. She saw their cold training, their forced orders, their silence. She reached one, a young commander named Roan. She showed him Noah's smile. She showed him Solon's courage. She showed him a cheap motel room where a scared mother once held her. Crying child with no one beside her. Roan's hands trembled. He stood and walked to the command center. Stop, he said. One word. But it spread. Other ships paused. Orders were questioned. Hearts, once closed, opened just a little, and slowly. The weapons powered down. The skies turned quiet again. Emma stepped down. Her body trembled, but she was whole. Solon ran to her side. You did it. No, she said. We all did. She picked up Noah. He smiled at her and touched her cheek. In his eyes, she saw peace. The crowd around them began to cheer, not with loud noise, but with soft voices and warm faces. The network had not only saved them, it had changed them. Days passed. The enemy leaders came down to speak, not with weapons, but with open hands. They asked to learn, to listen. Solen helped guide the first meeting of peace. Emma watched from the hill, Noah sleeping again in her lap. Solon joined her. You were the key, Emma, he said. No, she said softly. I was just a mother. He's the key. Solon nodded. Then may every world be lucky enough to know the heart of a mother. Emma looked at the stars. She thought of her old life, the pain, the fear, the loss. And then she looked at her son. At the new world before her. From motel walls to star-filled skies, her journey had changed everything. And now, it was just beginning.